my name's Kim Hutchins, and I am so excited to be here at TULLOCH, and we're going to talk to Erik Giles today about his new role in the company. Welcome, Erik. I'm so glad that you could be here today, and we can talk about your new role in TULLOCH. And tell us the title of that.
I am going to be the new General Manager of Engineering at TULLOCH.
Okay. And so how did you get that role? Because you've been here for a while. Like, how long have you been here?
About 7 years. Yeah,
7 years.
Give or take.
Yeah. And what was the process to step into this role?
Sure. So I kind of applied to TULLOCH on a bit of a flyer through the internet on a job ad, and someone had the I guess good sense. We'll go with good sense.
Yes, good sense.
To bring
Absolutely.
me on. Yeah. So I started as kind of just like a project engineer in our geotechnical group within the engineering kind of division. Worked my way up to kind of being a bit of a project manager with a little more, gray hairs on the temple and whatnot. And then I kind of took over a lot of sort of our internal jobs through geotech. So if there was like a request from within the company to help out on like a part of a job or something like that, then I would, price them, run them, be responsible for them. Then a couple of years ago, I was, again, I think, had the good fortune to be in a position to kind of, help lead the geotechnical group at TULLOCH, and that's what I've been doing basically to date. And then, maybe right place, right time, or maybe they liked what I was doing and
called up to the big leagues. Called
me up to the bigs.
And so what excites you about this new role?
A lot of things, but I think the biggest thing for me is I'm going to get to see a bit more of the company. There's a lot more focus on how can TULLOCH be the best organization that it can be, which means I'll be able to work with a lot of the people that I really like to work with and just help enable all the different groups within engineering to be the best that they can be. And I'm just super jazzed to work with new people, work with people that I already know, and just try and enable through a positive and hopefully hardworking space to just help them grow their groups and be the best we can be.
And what are some of the key challenges and opportunities that you see involved with this new role? Yeah,
so I think as far as challenges, certainly some big shoes to fill with the outgoing management, I suppose. Obviously, I think the company to date has been very well run, and that is a bit of a daunting task to kind of step in and try and carry the flag, I guess. But on top of that, I think there's certainly going to be challenges with, the external pressures in some ways, certainly the, economic outlook within Canada and within the engineering industry. There's certainly some uncertainties right now. But I honestly think that people tend to shine the most in adversity, and good people really come through in adverse times. And so I think if there is some uncertainty and some adversity, I know that with the people that I get to work with and the people that are part of the TULLOCH organization will really, show their colors and really step up to a challenge. So I think that's really quite heartening. As far as opportunities are concerned, I think that one of the things I'm very excited about is with the Office of Technology kind of starting up and looking at ways to implement new technologies, look at, whether it be kind of looking at data, collecting data to inform business decisions, such as what we're starting to do in our fleet management program, to creating programs, possibly using AI to help with some of the tasks that we do, all to kind of help us do more with what the people that we currently have and be, increase production, but also to, help make good deliverables even better. So I think that's a really cool opportunity. And then again, kind of the thing that gets me excited about the job, I'm just really excited to work with awesome team that we have here. I'm very fortunate to work here, and I think it's a real strength to kind of help enable some of our work groups to be the best that they can be.
And so then stepping in as a leadership role, slightly different, what will change in your style of leadership?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest changes for me is going to be around previously in my current role, previous roles, it was kind of within a technical sphere that I was comfortable in.
Yeah.
I like to talk about dirt. I like to talk about rocks.
I know, right? Because we've talked about dirt before.
really good at it. I'll bore the pants off you talking about soil mechanics. But this is a bit different because there's obviously a much broader spectrum of work that we do within engineering. And so as a function of that, I think one of the things that is going to have to change the most about leadership style is that I'm going to have to lean on people that know their areas best and be able to trust my colleagues and the people that I work with to help us make the best decisions together for our organization. And that's going to be a shift, and that's something that is like certainly in like keen focus right now with sort of this transition happening.
Yeah. And what's your vision for your team, and how does that fit into TULLOCH and what's happening in the future?
Yeah, so I think, one of the things that we've had a lot of success with in the geotechnical group, and I think we're starting to see a lot of success within the organization, is that concept of like integrating different services within TULLOCH together, so that ideally we can offer sort of like, to the best of our abilities, like turnkey services. Like we work within the built and natural environment, which covers a lot. And so being able to bring in different, I guess, elements of our business to a client and offer them multiple services and in a kind of collaborative and positive space, I think is something that I'm hoping to try and continue to build on the work that everybody else has been the last little bit. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, and what's one piece of advice that you've picked up over the years here at TULLOCH that has really stuck with you and that you could use to encourage others?
Yeah, so I think two things. Number one would be I quickly learned in my profession early on that I am rarely the smartest person in the room and I rarely have the best idea. But something that was, I would see some of the best design engineers and stuff that I worked with and some of the best project managers that, they were very good at recognizing what the best idea in a room was and then giving voice to that idea through the person that came up with it and then enabling that idea. So being able to kind of enable that best idea is something that's like super important, especially when you're dealing with complex problems, because you can get to the heart of matters quicker and you can get to a solution that brings everybody in alignment together. And then galvanizing that into fruition is also something that's very important. And then the other thing is something that my dad said. His old high school math teacher told him that, sometimes you just have to like sit on the pants and do the work. And I think that's kind of twofold. Number one, engineering's hard. And there's a lot of tricky problems that require you to just like sit on the pants, understand the problem, and come up with a solution. But also there's a lot of like thankless tasks that typically go into, especially like complex projects. And so like for every, large project that gets built, like call it a bridge or something like that, there's probably someone that spent a tremendous amount of time on like the handrails and guardrails for that bridge to make them look nice, that they're safe, all these kinds of things. Not only do you learn a lot by doing some of these thankless jobs because you get to see different parts of the project, but by doing them, you also appreciate the people that do them because there's someone behind all those decisions and behind all that work. And it's super important to recognize those kind of thankless jobs in a broader perspective.
And what do you think sets TULLOCH apart from others in the industry, and how does your role support that?
Yeah, I feel like I say this a lot, but it's not necessarily what we do, but how we do it. I think that when you look at some of our how and why statements, like taking on new challenges, whether it be trying something new, going places other people won't, doing all these kinds of things, but in like a caring environment that really kind of tries to foster, that concept of creating an organization where everybody loves their job and their leaders care for them. I think that is probably what sets us apart more than anything. It makes us pleasant to deal with from a client perspective. It's very nice to deal with other people within our organization and work with lots of our colleagues because I think a lot of people have taken, corps d'esprit on. So I think it's like super important that we continue that, protect that culture, and it's probably one of our greatest differentiators.
And now TULLOCH does a lot for the communities that they're in. And so how do you see your role contributing to the impact that TULLOCH has on the community?
Yeah, so from, I guess, like a technical sense, one of the things that I love about being an engineer and working in like kind of the world that we work in through the built and natural environment is like what we do, I believe makes a positive difference to communities that we work in, whether it be helping design and build new infrastructure, whether it be getting involved with, significant renewable projects that are going to help, power us into the future. All these things, like, I think are fantastic. It's what I like about my job. It's what helps me get up in the morning and go to work. And so being able to enable all the people that I work with to be able to continue to offer these, good solutions and I guess like improvements within our society is something that I think is really great. And hopefully I can help out with that.
And what do you want others to know about TULLOCH as a company?
Yeah, we're awesome. You should come work for us. It's my elevator pitch. No, I think I kind of said it before. Like, I really feel that our company is a community.
Yeah.
And the people that work within our organization, like, one of the things that we talk about in recruitment is like hiring character and then training skill. And I think that kind of onus on character and finding the right person that fits our kind of caring culture and our kind of community approach to engineering and business, I suppose, I think is like really critical to what has been successful for us. And it's something that I think other organizations you maybe wouldn't necessarily find. So like, it happens in like big and small ways. Like, you know, the company took everybody to Florida a couple years ago. Like, you know, jets on the tarmac, like all expenses paid trip to Orlando. Like that's fantastic. When I talk to other colleagues across the industry, like people's jaws usually hit the floor and like, you guys like did what?
Who does that?
Yeah, right? So even like smaller stuff that I think is just as important as kind of these grand gestures. So like something that I've become, I guess, aware of is as I've started to join some of the like senior leadership calls, is at the beginning of each one of these meetings, there's always time set aside for a couple minutes for someone to basically recognize someone who's doing a good job within our organization.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's kind of like those, you know, thankless jobs where maybe someone did a really good job on like an inspection site and maybe they caught something that could have cost our client a bunch of money, or maybe it was a drafter who put out a really good set of drawings on a really tight deadline and they had to work a little late to make it happen. Like, so not only are those people recognized, but then someone within the team takes the accountability of going and like letting them know.
That's so good.
Yeah. So it's like nice to know that people care about you, and it really builds that kind of caring culture where like people that do some of those thankless jobs and go the extra mile to get stuff done are recognized. So I think that's really cool. And that's something that I would want people to know about TULLOCH.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing about your new role.
Thanks.
And it's great to sit down and talk to you again.
Likewise. Looking forward to the sequel. You know?
Yeah.
Return of the Geotechnical Engineers.
That's right.